Bullet Cast for life.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bullet Cast, the only sports and recreational podcast. It is simply just too sweet. I'm your host, Philip Antoine. Not only am I the podfather, but I'm the reigning, defending, undisputed Bullet Cast champion. And I am joined on the line by the man that I dethroned for the title. He is the Canadian Destroyer, Brendan. How's it going there, guy?
Why you gotta throw that little barb in there? That was unnecessary. I mean, we all know I'm the first ever longest reigning Bullet Cast champion. You don't have to talk about me losing. Just, don't be negative. Just put me over and be nice, man.
I'll put you over. I'm sorry, my man. All right, episode 57. When it comes to Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns doesn't fear that bitch. Let's get into this performance-enhancing audio, all right? Outside of the ring, Bobby Lashley has a new WWE deal, so it's only a matter of time before we see the Destroyer back on WWE TV.
Yeah, I mean, this has been rumored and news for a while. Bobby Lashley's left TNA along with a bunch of other wrestlers. I'm excited to see what he does. Bobby Lashley, honestly, I don't know why, I was just some stupid wrestling little kid back then, but he was actually one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day when he was representing our president, Donald Trump.
Yes. WrestleMania 23.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm excited to see what he does. He's really stepped his game up. I don't know. He's kind of a Brock Lesnar where he wants to fight, he wants to be an MMA fighter, and he wants to be a wrestler. I don't know how WWE is going to respond to that, if he's going to have to leave Bellator and just do WWE full-time, or what's going to happen there. But I would love for a Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, either wrestling match or MMA fight to take place. Maybe both of them take place, but we have to see what happens with Brock Lesnar.
I don't know. Possibly the night after Mania, after Roman is Universal Champion. I mean, Bobby Lashley said in an interview that he believes he can get Roman Reigns completely and fully over. That's something I would love to see. The Battle of the Spear, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe something kind of like what they did at WrestleMania 28. Brock Lesnar comes out, attacks John Cena, and they off to the races. Maybe they do something like that. Because usually they're always like some returns or surprises at the night after WrestleMania. And Bobby Lashley, maybe a Neville return.
That's a rumor mill also. Neville should be back on WWE TV in April.
And yeah, I mean, I think I would rather have, if it is between Neville being in WWE or Neville being outside WWE, I think he's kind of in the Dana Bryan camp where he can do more stuff outside WWE and be a lot more interesting, because you kind of know Neville's just going to be stuck in the 205 Live camp where all he's going to be doing is just that. Even though 205 Live is on the right direction, still haven't watched an episode, but I've been hearing good things about it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I heard TJ Perkins had a classic.
We'll watch the finals for the Cruiserweight Championship match at WrestleMania. Hopefully, it probably will be on the pre-show, but I'll still watch it. Maybe it'll entice me to watch 205 Live. Probably not, but you never know.
Our 205 Live correspondent, he kind of no-showed like Brock did on Raw.
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. We're having some drama within the Bullet Cast, but I'm just going to stay out of it, man.
Is Bullet Cast fine? I don't know. But moving on, CM Punk and Wade Barrett are going to be hosting Ultimate Beastmasters. It's kind of like American Ninja Warrior, for Netflix, like you said earlier today.
But nobody heard.
Nobody did hear. You're right, because the technology I was given was complete and utter shit.
Whoa, what happened to no profanity, man?
Hey, I got screwed over. I'm kind of upset.
I'll check out the show just because it has my boy CM Punk on it. Maybe it'll entice me. Hopefully it's not like an hour long. I mean, it all depends on what the show is going to be like. I think it's just one way for CM Punk and Wade Barrett to step outside of their comfort zone and kind of be bigger stars and reach larger audiences. I think, I don't know exactly how this works. I think Tiki Barber is also on the show as like the host. So they're kind of, Tiki Barber, former football player.
All right.
Come on, bro. But I think they're trying to grab some names, get some people. Because honestly, I've never heard of this show until CM Punk and Wade Barrett started tweeting about it a couple days ago. But it'll make me check it out once it comes out.
Well, speaking of tweeting about it, EC3 tweeted to John Cena, "Hey, if you don't find a road to WrestleMania, you can find a road to NXT Takeover New Orleans and have a wrestling match with me." Thoughts on this?
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think I mean, maybe one day a John Cena or like a super big name will wrestle in NXT for a takeover, but an NXT takeover, especially at WrestleMania, it's just basically, I mean, all the takeovers at this point are kind of just like a regular WWE show. They take place in a 10, 15,000 person arena. I think it'd be a bigger deal if John Cena wrestled at Full Sail. If they ever go back there and do a takeover there, I think that'd be cool. But I don't think John Cena's wrestling EC3. EC3 is not even on NXT right now. I haven't seen anything of him debuting or doing any type of work. I don't think EC3 is probably the right opponent. If anything, I think Cien Almas or maybe
Adam
the guy
Cole, baby.
Maybe Adam Cole, maybe Tommaso Ciampa. If Tommaso Ciampa gets really hot after this Gargano feud.
Velveteen Dream or Cassius Ohno?
Cassius Ohno. I love Ohno, but he's basically a glorified, not a jobber, but he's kind of a mid-lower card guy who just kind of puts over the talent. Has a decent match.
A heel Ohno against the face John Cena at a takeover? I don't know.
Yeah, but I think if you want a John Cena match at NXT, I think you want that to be, if not the main event, at least the second to last match. Maybe Adam Cole as a champion at the time. Maybe Aleister Black turns heel, but he's not really a true babyface. He's kind of a tweener, so maybe you throw him in there. I think we're just all speaking in hyperbole, right, or in hypotheticals, because it's not going to happen.
You're right. All right. The Big Show is not signing a new WWE deal, like not full time, but rumor has it he will be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means. If he's going to show up, wave to the crowd and say, "Hey," if he's going to maybe just show up at the Andre Battle Royal, actually as a full-fledged match. Don't really know where he fits in. Big Show's kind of done everything. He basically lost the feud to Braun Strowman, so I don't think he can go back to that.
No.
Yeah, Big Show, I mean, he's fine. He's just been around. He's done everything. He's turned so many times.
True.
Maybe that Shaq thing works out eventually. Maybe they find it. Maybe Gronk. Maybe rumors are swirling that Gronk may be retiring. Maybe he joins WWE and wrestles. I don't know if they would throw Gronk right into a match that quickly. I mean, Lawrence Taylor was able to get a decent match, but Bam Bam Bigelow is honestly a better wrestler than Big Show, so I don't know if Big Show can get that out of Gronk. But
Lawrence Taylor, didn't he main event WrestleMania 11?
Yes, he did. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh man, yeah, that was something special. All right,
do you know who Lawrence Taylor is, Philip?
The refrigerator? Of course I know.
He's not the refrigerator.
Yeah, moving on.
Lawrence Taylor is one of the greatest linebackers / defensive players of all time. Played for the New York Giants.
The fans know I don't watch football. Okay,
two-time Super Bowl champion.
I mean, they know I don't watch these other aspects of athletics. You don't watch
real sports. You don't watch fake sports.
Yo, well, hold on now. We're gonna get into the term fake coming up. All right, but let's talk about another deal within WWE. WWE's deal with USA for the 3-hour Raw, that TV deal is coming up, and Fox has been making waves. Could we see WWE go over to network TV?
Rumor has it Fox was not rumor, there's Fox executives and Colin Cowherd, a notable Fox Sports radio guy, over at SmackDown in LA.
Yeah, Colin, this guy's I don't know what this guy's deal is. He said things about the business that he just doesn't get it. He thinks it's stupid or whatever. He insults Ric Flair, then yet takes a picture with his daughter backstage. I mean, I don't know what this guy's deal is.
I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Colin. I listen to him. He's okay. Sometimes he does say outlandish things, just try to get. He's kind of a troll at some points, but
And then his summary of what happened on Tuesday night. It was fun. It was like a rock and roll concert. There were fireworks, girls in bikinis. We laughed for 2 hours. WWE hasn't had fireworks since WrestleMania. There were no girls in bikinis since maybe like 2009 or 10. So what the hell is this guy talking about?
I don't know. Maybe he was talking about the strip club he went to afterwards. I don't know.
I don't know. But
anyways, can we get back to the professional side of it? Maybe WWE Raw will be cut back to 2 hours. It's a great thing if they go to broadcast television on Fox Channel 2 out here in the Bay Area.
Hey.
It'd be great. I would love for a 2 hour Raw to be back because they got to put that 10 o'clock news slot in there. It'd be great.
I miss those 2 hour Raws. I mean, a lot happened in 2 hour Raws back in the day. I mean, Raw would go without like maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes, which was fine. So a 2 hour Raw, I'm fine with it. You know, it's just we got to see, will WWE really leave USA? They left before they went to Spike or TNN or whatever. They saw how that played out, and they went back home to USA. Well, I don't know, but we'll see what Vince McMahon is going to do there. And then
maybe Fox actually buys out WWE outright. There's been rumors that Vince is not close to a sale. Maybe Fox throws enough money at him that they own the whole thing. Not saying that Vince and Triple H and Stephanie would be gone. They would just not have ownership. They would be still running the company, but it's interesting to see what happens.
Yes. All right. What about Brock Lesnar potentially going to UFC? Dana White, I think he put it on Instagram, a photo of himself and Brock Lesnar in Las Vegas while Lesnar was wearing a UFC shirt during the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that happened this past Sunday.
As apparently, have you ever watched a UFC show live ever, Philip?
I have. You know, I've watched the CM Punk fight. I watched Rousey's fights when she had that streak going. I watched UFC 200 with Brock Lesnar. So, you know, I've developed the UFC a little bit.
Okay, so I think I feel Brock Lesnar's leaving. I wish there was some sort of way that you can figure out some sort of agreement between the two companies to have Brock do wrestling and UFC. Just because Lesnar isn't... What?
I don't know about that. I mean, what was it, 2016? Vince took a real gamble with letting Brock go back to the UFC, and the potential of him, like, getting knocked out, that would have ruined SummerSlam plans. So, I mean, Vince took a real gamble there. Would he do it again? I'm not sure. I mean, he let Jericho go off over to New Japan, so, you know, anything's possible, really. But Lesnar's contract is supposedly up, like, mid-April, a few weeks after Mania, so, you know, does Brock re-sign? I don't know. I mean, he re-signed in 2015. We needed him. There is still more for him to do, like you said earlier today, like with Shinsuke and Balor and all that stuff. So for him sticking around, would it be good for business? Yeah, sure. If he were to leave, you know, that's his choice.
And the thing is, like, Brock Lesnar, we say he kind of has done everything in WWE. He's kind of done everything in UFC. Yes, Stipe Miocic is like the record for most defenses in heavyweight championship history. But besides that, Brock, I mean, he's 40 years old. He's up there. People talk about that John Jones fight, but John Jones just had a hearing against the California State Athletic Commission. USADA still has to rule on him. So for the most part, he's going to be gone for at least a year, maybe even more than that. So that dream match everyone's talking about, well, Brock and Jones, I mean, I think Jones would win, maybe, but Brock is so much bigger than him, maybe just smothers him. I think Brock, as I've said, I think if it comes down to one or the other, I think he has that competitive drive that he wants to fight back. Because when he left UFC a couple years ago, or however long it was, 5, 6, 7 years ago at this point, I mean, he had diverticulitis, so he wasn't really sent out because he was losing all the time. Yes, he did lose to a roided up Alistair Overeem, but I think he kind of has that chip on his shoulder that, yeah, maybe he wants to prove himself again, even though he came back and was on steroids when he beat Mark Hunt. But yeah,
I don't know. Well, the term fake has been associated with professional wrestling since its existence. You know, All right, so how do you feel about the term fake being associated with pro wrestling, Brandon?
I think at this point, WWE is kind of like it's kind of the most mainstream it's been probably ever in terms of like being accepted by the mainstream media. Obviously, during the Attitude Era, more people than ever loved wrestling, watched it, stuff like that. But nowadays, the news, they kind of go along with it. I don't really hear people calling it fake in terms of like, I mean, people do call it fake. It's just people trolling. But one thing that did pop up lately was since Ronda Rousey did jump over to WWE, I have seen some people talk about, oh, now she's doing fake fighting, which I do kind of roll my eyes at, just because it's kind of people who probably don't know exactly what's going on. Yes, it is technically fake fighting. UFC is real. WWE, I mean, there's an argument to be said that WWE wrestling, in terms of being on the road 300, 250 days a year, is harder than being a UFC fighter who trains all year round but only has to fight maybe 4 times at most throughout the entire year.
Yeah. I mean, this is my take on it. Like, I'm a diehard wrestling fan. People know that. That's why I have this podcast. I've loved wrestling ever since I was 8 years old. I do get offended when people call it fake. Because they say, oh, you watch that, man? That's fake. I'm like, have you ever been in the ring? Have you ever taken a bump? Then how do you really know it's fake? Like, I had the opportunity to do a tryout. I've been in the ring. I've ran the ropes. I've taken a few bumps. It's real. And plus, like, how do you fake getting pushed off a 15-foot ladder flying through, like, 2 or 3 tables? You can't fake stuff like that, you know? But people, I think Chris Jericho said this, you know, people call it fake because they don't understand what's going on. They don't understand the true art form of what's happening within professional wrestling. That's my whole take on it.
I mean, you know, fake is kind of the go-to word of saying it. It's kind of, you know, I kind of said it. I roll my eyes when people say fake, and then everyone's like, it's not fake, it's predetermined because it's really hard. Have you ever done it? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, my thing is just, Game of Thrones is fake. Breaking Bad, fake.
Star Wars, fake. You know,
all these TV shows we you know love and watch all the time, they're fake. But I think the thing is with WWE is it's sports. It's in the live arena. I mean, wrestling is fake. It's supposed to pass off as real, and that's the best part of it is when you just forget. You don't think about it as being fake. You think about it as being a real sport. That's why I love New Japan so much, is because it takes itself seriously. It doesn't like cater to, well, they cater to the internet in terms of talking about star ratings and stuff, but that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother day. But in its own little universe, it's a sport. People challenge. Are we going to talk about the New Japan anniversary show? Probably not. Okada versus Ospreay is going to be fantastic. And fake, not fake. You know, I'm not going to get into a fight if someone calls wrestling fake. I'll just be like, okay, whatever, dude. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it to, like, escape my own reality. I love wrestling. I don't give a damn if it's predetermined. I'm there to enjoy the show and get lost in what's happening. And if you think professional wrestling is fake, don't take a bump. All right, let's get into the Raw recap. Alexa Bliss has a very nice promo to start off Monday Night Raw with her lackey, Mickie James, which results in Asuka coming out. And then it turns into a 6-woman tag team match with Sasha Banks, Asuka, Bayley. They defeat Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, and Nia Jax.
Some storylines going on with Bayley and Sasha. Bayley kind of turning her back on Sasha,
rejecting the tag.
And then she comes back and helps out Asuka. The thing is, it makes sense if you kind of think about it. Bayley doesn't want to help Sasha, but then she doesn't want to leave Asuka because she likes Asuka. The thing is, I don't understand why Mickie James is I guess she's a heel now, just because she's on the side of Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. No real reason why. In the Elimination Chamber build-up, it makes sense because she doesn't have any friends, so might as well just team up with Alexa, and if push comes to shove, you know, she can turn on her if she needs to. But there's no real reason why Mickie is going to align herself with Alexa. There's no promise of her getting a championship opportunity. Yes, Alexa's storyline is the reason Mickie James is back in the company.
You're right. You're right.
It's all building up. Asuka versus Nia Jax is going to have a rematch next week, and we still don't even know who Asuka's facing. She hasn't made the official announcement yet, and time's ticking.
Yeah. I mean, this whole thing with Bayley and Sasha, I mean, WWE has the chance to do something special here. It doesn't have to be for a title. Don't make it for a title. just two women having a grudge match, to see like who truly is better. I mean, we've seen them beat each other in the past, take over Brooklyn 1. That was amazing. That was a great match. But let's really do this. We haven't seen a true one-on-one women's match at WrestleMania. I mean, you can result back to WrestleMania 2000, but that was a quote-unquote cat fight. Let's do something special here with these two women. I really want to see it.
Yeah, hopefully all the true women's matches are singles matches with Nia, Alexa, Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha Bailey. Three specific women's matches all on the show at one time, including the Ronda mixed tag match. Maybe next year, I've heard rumors Ronda Rousey will be the main event next year at WrestleMania. I mean, I've talked about it. I think a Ronda Rousey-Asuka match at WrestleMania, both of them having streaks, both of them holding titles. That would be a blockbuster match.
I know Ronda Rousey can make some history.
I know. It all depends on how Ronda is in the ring. I think she has a good athletic base that she can be a good wrestler. I just don't know. Shayna Baszler, she's a really good wrestler. She focuses more on the submissions and the MMA background, which is probably what Ronda should do, just because she has such a great athletic base there. But the Sasha Bailey dynamic, I'm excited to see what they do. Bailey has kind of not been heated up, but she's a lot better than what she was in the past, which isn't saying much.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We get into the John Cena promo from Monday Night Raw. Very passionate, very interesting promo from Cena. He says, I lost the Elimination Chamber. I don't know if I have a road to WrestleMania. But then he goes on to say, I can't have a road to WrestleMania if I issue out an open challenge to The Undertaker. The crowd was a massive pop. He starts going on, we've never wrestled each other on the grandest stage of them all. 39 WrestleManias between us. And then he goes on to say, but I've been told by the office that simply cannot happen. So I know how I need to get to a road to WrestleMania. It starts with SmackDown Live. Thoughts on this promo?
I thought it was a really good promo. It establishes or acknowledges the elephant in the room of the Undertaker John Cena match. John Cena alluded to it a little bit a couple weeks ago about WrestleManias where
legends come back from the dead.
Yeah. I think at this point that match has to happen just because they've talked about it so much. It's only been, that's a pretty straight up call out of the Undertaker. And if Undertaker doesn't respond, and there's rumors of Rey Mysterio coming back to face John Cena at WrestleMania, which I have no idea why that would happen. It makes absolutely no sense. But I think anything less than John Cena Undertaker at this point at WrestleMania will be a disappointment. What do you think about the possibilities of this match happening?
Taker, they've had the chance to do this so many times. Even when Taker was in his really later prime, 09 going through 2012, they've had the chance to do this and they just never did it. I don't understand why. I guess it was just never in the cards, or the stars never really aligned for it. But I've said this on the pod before. He descended down into the floor, or whatever. He left his coat and his hat in the ring. It's over. That's the greatest way to end the career. Plus, are you gonna have him lose 2 years in a row at WrestleMania? He already has 2 losses at the event. I don't know if I want to see it. Hell, maybe if he's the American Badass Taker, I don't know. It's just I don't think I'm ready to see Mark Calloway have another wrestling match ever again.
But there could be something poetic about Undertaker retiring, returning, doing something where the streak ended. They can play up on that a little bit about that's where the streak ended in New Orleans. I love the John Cena character right now, with him just being this veteran who he keeps trying to win, but they're not really telling the story that he doesn't have it. They're just telling the story that he's coming up short and he's getting frustrated, which I think is a better story in terms of kind of keeping Cena strong, keeping his star power up there. I really like the promos he's been cutting. The promo he cut last week at the Gauntlet match was fantastic. I thought that was one of the best promos of his career. Just being I got to win this match or else I don't know what I'm doing at WrestleMania. we've talked about how obviously Cena's gonna have a match at WrestleMania. Like nobody believes Cena's gonna be left off Mania.
Yeah. I mean, this is a new John Cena. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy his promos as of late. I mean, because like over the past couple of years, Cena's been doing the promos of like kind of hinting at the stuff the internet says about him, like how he's Super Cena and he can get stuff the way he wants because he's John Cena. But this new attitude, this new Cena, I really do like it. They're telling a fantastic story. I can't wait to see how all of this plays out. But after Cena's promo, we get into Bray Wyatt defeating Heath Slater, and then he talks about how the Great War is not yet over between he and Woke and Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy's been saying stuff on Twitter how the ultimate deletion is coming. Thoughts on this?
I think an ultimate deletion type segment is what we've all been waiting for. We have never seen the Hardy compound. We haven't seen Vanguard 1, Skarsgård, Senior Benjamin, King Maxwell, Queen Rebecca. We haven't seen anybody. There's whatever Lord Wolfie. We haven't seen him. I mean, that's all. As much as we like, the dialogue and Matt Hardy saying weird stuff, it's all about the Hardy compound, the pre-tapes, the vignettes, him boxing a kangaroo. I mean, we just want to get deep down and weird with Matt Hardy. And hopefully this is where it builds and leads up to. I don't know if it's the best thing to do it at a WrestleMania. Maybe do it a special half-hour segment on Raw.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to do it. But, hopefully they can. I keep having faith in they keep letting me down.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Woken Matt Hardy has been interesting. The first week was amazing. We've said that before. Like, it was awesome. They caught something there. And then it's just kind of really gone downhill. Maybe the ultimate deletion is what can save it. Or, like you've said in the past, is make them a tag team.
Yeah, I don't know if they're just biding time until Jeff comes back to make him a tag team, and they can kind of do the same thing where they kind of break them up, maybe throw them back together. But a Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, odd couple tag team, I think that'd be fun because I think obviously Jeff is where the money is. More people like Jeff than Matt. Have Jeff go over to SmackDown, have him do his own thing, and have Matt and Bray be a tag team on Raw.
Yeah, I mean the Woken Wyatts or the Woken Warriors. I mean, I don't know what you'd call them, but it'd be something interesting. All right, moving on from that, your boy The Miz. That's a very passionate promo.
Yes, he did.
He's been saying it for like the past 2 years. He's made the Intercontinental title the most important title in WWE. It is a shame that the Intercontinental title doesn't have anything planned for WrestleMania. He deserves to be on the card. He's the most must-see champion of all time. He's an A-lister. And then that leads into a match he had with Seth Rollins. Very, very good match on Raw. Thoughts?
The Miz promo was great. I'm not going to sit here and say Miz should be main eventing WrestleMania like what he said. I think he's a really good mid-card act. He keeps the flow of Raw going. He can fill, as he did here, whatever, a half hour, 40 minutes. The match itself, Seth Rollins, I think, is probably my favorite wrestler right now in WWE. He's just on fire.
Monday Night Rollins.
Yeah, he's been cutting really good promos. He's just kind of the everyday baby face. He's a hard worker. He wants to win. He won this match. Great frog splash. Damn near jumped from turnbuckle to turnbuckle.
Oh, yeah, that 15-star frog splash was unbelievable.
Yeah, I said it on the Elimination Chamber podcast that I wanted Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Maybe throw him in there as a triple threat match, even though I don't like triple threat matches. It looks like we're going to get one for the IC title. So what happens? You can get into that right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, going into that, Finn Balor, after Seth Rollins defeats The Miz, Finn Balor goes on to defeat The Miz. So I guess we will be having Rollins versus Balor versus Miz for the Intercontinental title. I'm okay with it. I am. I know you enjoy one-on-one matches, but as I said earlier on the episode that will never air because we had technical difficulties, WWE's had some great triple threat matches in the past, and I think this could be another one. Plus, these three guys had a great one on Raw last year after the Superstar shakeup.
They They built more tension between Rollins and Balor. Balor comes out right when Rollins is celebrating, so not really a full-on heel turn from Balor, but just kind of him being a dick.
Yeah.
Miz having to face two guys in a row without really any knowledge of it doesn't put Miz in a heel predicament. He kind of is in a babyface way because you kind of feel bad for him. They did try to put heat on him with having the Miz Taraj attack Balor, which is kind of the way it happens now. But I'm fine. I think with the triple threat match. Obviously, I would rather have a heel Balor go up against a Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. But the thing that is kind of that I don't like is I'm hearing that Braun and Elias are going to be put into this triple threat match to make it a 5-way for the IC title. I mean, I would rather have Miz, Braun, and Elias in a triple threat match. Have the two heels try to gang up on Braun. Braun destroys both of them. He wins the title. There we go. Everyone's happy. And then have a full on heel turn from Finn Balor. Have him be the rock star like he was in New Japan. Have the Bullet Club. Have Seth Rollins, go up against, try to break the odds, and he does it. And Seth Rollins is the most popular guy in the company, even though he doesn't have a championship, because that's going to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, Balor versus Rollins, I'd love to see that. Of course, that'd be the Steamboat Savage match of the night. Plus, they never really tied up the loose ends with the whole, when the curb stop returned, Finn Balor, they zoomed in on his face. We never got a conclusion to why that happened, So, I mean, that would kind of tie up some stuff. But I guess we are going with Miz, Balor, and Rollins. So, I mean, we're going to see how it plays out. WrestleMania is not for another 5 weeks. And Roman Reigns, the guy who will be winning the Universal title at WrestleMania, cuts a very passionate work shoot promo on Brock Lesnar for no showing Raw. What do you think?
I am not a big fan of Roman Reigns. I think it's more how Roman Reigns carries himself. He kind of just has the D-bag attitude that he's the best, and we're all a bunch of peasants and we should worship him, and he doesn't understand why we don't like him. But I think this kind of shows the fire and the passion that he's been missing from all of his other promos that he has as a babyface. The thing with Roman Reigns is they don't have faith in him to cut a solid babyface go home promo, get the crowd fired up, ready to see the match the next week. But I think this did it. I don't know if you can do this all the time because it had a shoot element, even though I feel I think this is all a work. There's rumors that there was a script that had the face off. Maybe it was just an Undertaker streak thing where it was just the people involved who knew about it. Maybe maybe Vince told Brock not to show up, but he didn't tell Brock what Roman was going to say, and Brock is pissed off about it. You can work that into the storyline somehow, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the best work that Roman Reigns usually does is when he faces off against Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman probably has his fingerprints all over these Roman Reigns promos.
Yeah. I mean, going forward with this, I loved the whole thing. I really did. The part where Roman was I'm going to go to the back and get my ass chewing like a man. I thought that was pretty funny. Because, Vince gets upset when people don't do stuff the way he wants or they go off script or whatever. Anyway, moving forward with the next 5 weeks, I'm not saying Roman Reigns could hold his own on the mic with Paul Heyman. I'm not saying he can go toe-to-toe, but I think he can be in a very nice spot if they continue this, because then, Lesnar's just going to send Heyman to talk for him, because whenever Heyman has a little bit of truth to anything, he can talk circles around you. And I think they could really run with this. Just have Brock no-show. Have him no-show all of these events up until WrestleMania, but of course he's advertised for some live event in Chicago this coming week or whatever. But I think it could be a very interesting scenario.
Yeah, I don't know how you build upon this, kind of having I don't know how you do this without having a total shoot aspect to it, because when you have a storyline that's a complete shoot, it makes everything else on the card seem fake, and you don't want to bury the other matches on the card by having, a complete shoot match. I do like the idea of having Brock just no-show everything. Maybe, Paul Heyman shows up. He could be I've tried to get Brock. He doesn't want to show up. He doesn't want to be in WWE anymore. He just wants to go to UFC. He's not going to give up the title because that's his. He earned it. Nobody's going to ever beat him for it. And, yeah, I don't know exactly how the match is going to play out. Like, if you want to, like, get people guessing, like, maybe you have Brock shoot on Roman, but, you know, in a controlled work shoot way where he just, like, takes him down, smothers him, gives him some elbows or something like that, kind of like what he did to Randy Orton a couple years ago at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I am a fan of that, or give him like a shoot punch like he did Strowman at the Royal Rumble. But
well, I mean, you don't want to be handing out concussions to build up a match. I mean, the thing with the Randy Orton, I mean, I'd rather have Brock Lesnar bust me open with some elbows than give me a stiff shot to the side of the head and give me a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be something very interesting moving forward. Now, after that, of course, we get into the Bar defeating Titus Worldwide.
Why was this a 2 out of 3 falls match? And then, yeah,
I don't know. That happened. Of course, the Bar cuts a promo afterwards saying, you know, we've defeated everybody, and then the Revival gets on Twitter and says, no, you haven't beat us. So heel versus heel, or did they turn the Bar face?
I mean, if it's between those two, I think obviously the Bar has to turn face. The Revival is a heel act. I think eventually they can turn babyface and being like the no good, ass kicking babyface that everybody loves, like Arn and Tully. But
yeah,
I mean, you can't do that right now. You have to stick him as a heel tag team. The Bar, I mean, I really like Cesaro. Sheamus, I'm on the fence with him in terms of him being like a babyface, but I don't know.
I mean, I enjoy Sheamus, as I said before, but we'll see how that plays out. All right, the guy I walk with, Elias, he has a nice little brawl with Braun Strowman. How do you feel about this?
I mean, it was fine. It was good. I think the dogs are going to start barking. Oh, God. No? Oh, the dogs didn't bark. Look at the dogs. Good dogs.
All right. Moving on from that, they brawl into the backstage area. A limo pulls up. We don't know who it is. I assume it was Triple H and Stephanie, because as we come back from commercial, they're Hunter's music hits and they make their way down to the ring. And Ronda Rousey comes out and they have a great angle with Kurt Angle. And Angle just says how he was lying about the whole thing from the Elimination Chamber. He didn't mean any of it. Ronda Rousey says she wants an apology from Stephanie, or else she's going to rip her arm out of her socket. Stephanie apologizes. She never apologizes. That was something very interesting. And then, of course, at the end, Triple H punches Kurt Angle in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good segment. I don't know exactly. I mean, I think Stephanie and Triple H are kind of pulling Ronda and Angle along. They're doing some really good work. I know I'm not the biggest fan of Stephanie McMahon, but I got to give people their due. When they do some good work, I'll give it to them.
Wow, praising Roman and Stephanie today. Look at this guy.
I don't know what's got into me. I think it's because it's a rainy day. I'm not thinking straight.
Hey, I don't blame you. All right, no, yeah, keep going.
I mean, the Ronda Rousey storyline right now isn't that bad. Ronda isn't like terrible. The only thing is like she's kind of angry Ronda, and then she's smiling Ronda, which doesn't really show any really, big acting chops. But she doesn't show that when she's done her acting, because for the most part she just plays Ronda Rousey, a kick-ass woman fighter.
That's very true. Now, I mean, I suppose it's going to be a mixed tag match at WrestleMania. But instead of Kurt Angle being on Rousey's side, what about Braun Strowman? We never got a real payoff from Survivor Series, Like Braun Strowman, he hit Triple H with a power slam, and that was it. We never got a true payoff from that. So what if that happens?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it in the past of who Ronda's tag team partner should be. I think Seth is the best option, just because Seth can go do the media circuit and, be a likable guy. Obviously, Braun he can be like the Andre the Giant type, where he just goes to the talk shows and everyone just awes at how big and strong he is, and he can do some sort of like gimmicks where he, carries 3 women on his shoulders or something like Andre used to do. But
Andre did used to do all that. But yeah, I think that's, as far as storyline purposes, like tying up all those loose ends, I think Braun would be the best possibility. Because like Seth, like he beat Hunter last year, like that. I think that storyline is over for now if they ever decide to go back to it or whatever. But yeah, I think Braun would make the most sense.
Yeah, but I mean, Kurt Angle, the only thing is with Kurt Angle, and not only the storyline and his not being the best on promos, is in the ring. You're gonna have to the match is gonna have to be carried by the men for the most part. Stephanie's not gonna work forever. Ronda's green. She hasn't had a match really that we've seen him at all. So, I mean, can we trust Kurt Angle and Triple H, both guys over 45, to really have a decent match for, I don't know, 10 minutes until
one of Hunter's specialties has been like he can like guys in the business can like work around stuff so they can look all right, but Hunter can work around stuff so his opponent can look all right. So I mean that's just one of the great aspects of the talent of Triple H. So I think if they do run with Kurt Angle, we don't know. Maybe it's WrestleMania. Kurt just turns it on for some reason. We'll see the Kurt Angle vote. I don't know. But if that doesn't happen, I believe Hunter can, work around the stuff that Kurt can't really do anymore.
Well, we did see a match similar to this in terms of two old guys. He had the match with Sting a couple years ago. The match itself wasn't that great. The only reason, I liked it a lot is just because I was live, so it was fun to see Sting and Triple H in person. But then also, NWO comes out, DX comes out, and I think they relied heavily on nostalgia, trying to, get cheap pops and kind of having that type thing. I don't think this is going to happen with the Triple H Kurt Angle match. Triple H is better when he has a smaller guy around him, especially at this age. But he had those great matches with Undertaker. But Undertaker, I think, Undertaker back then was a better worker than Kurt Angle is now. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's get into the SmackDown recap. John Cena kicks off the show with a promo from Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan says, "Hey, this is a land of opportunity. You want to be in the WWE title match at Fastlane? All right, cool. If you beat the champion tonight, we turn the Fatal 5-Way into a 6-pack challenge."
I'm not the biggest fan of having more people in a match. I mean, a 6-pack challenge, using WWE math, it only diminishes everyone's chances to win by 5% because everybody has an equal chance of winning the match apparently, even though I'm pretty sure Braun Strowman going up against James Ellsworth, it wasn't a 50-50 match.
No.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah. Well, after this promo that happens, Baron Corbin goes on to defeat Sami Zayn.
Nah. 2 heels in a match. I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, after that, Daniel Bryan goes home. He leaves
because he wants to see his family, even though it was in LA. I think they live in Arizona, so I don't know what's the point of him leaving. Unless if he had a flight, but then why would he book a flight in the middle of SmackDown? I mean, Shane has done this numerous times where he just either doesn't show up or will leave early.
Or he'll
I don't think it really
30 minutes before the show is over.
Yeah, it's not really a good look. I don't understand what's the point of it. I think maybe the whole reason they wanted that is just they had that stupid joke of Shane had backstage of how Sammy and Kevin were going to be late for dinner with him and Bree. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't like the authority figures leaving their own show because it just sends the message that it's not that important. So if they don't want to be at their own show, why should we watch the show?
Yes, exactly. All right, Ruby Riott goes on to defeat Naomi.
It makes sense. Ruby Riott's going on to face Charlotte at Fastlane for the title. She basically beat everybody except for Charlotte. Naomi did those atrocious kicks once again. I don't know why she still does those.
The afterglow kicks, man. Those are the new Yes kicks, by the way.
Well, at least the It kicks, at least they look like they hurt. Those things are just I could hit Ruby Riott with a pillow in the thigh, and they would hurt more than those kicks.
Oh, damn. All right. All right there.
Me and Ruby Riott, we be pillow fighting, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. We have a fashion final.
But give me that Becky.
Yeah.
In the end.
There we go. It's been a while. All right, a fashion file segment on SmackDown with the guy from that new Tupac and Biggie show on what is it, USA?
Yeah, right. It came on right after SmackDown went off the air. I thought it was a good show in terms of the Tupac Biggie thing. It's kind of like the O.J. Simpson show on FX they had a couple months ago last year.
Yeah, that was very interesting as well.
Yeah, the Fashion File segment itself, it was fun. We haven't seen a Fashion File segment in a while. They kind of just throw it on WWE.com or YouTube, and you have to kind of go out of your way to find it. I mean, it was fun. I would have really popped if they had a joke of, like, the guy said, oh, you know everything's fake, right? And then someone would feel kayfabe in the background. Oh, that would have been so funny.
That would have been hilarious. All right. Keep going.
I mean, New Day comes out. They did a little joke of Big E. Get it? Because Big E Smalls. Man, so funny.
Yes.
SmackDown writers really made their money this week.
Yeah. Speaking of Big E, he and his other friends, the day of New, they all go out there and they have a promo and the Usos come out. And this was amazing work from Big E especially. He goes on to say, you know, you guys haven't been on WrestleMania for the last 5 years. Last year we hosted WrestleMania. You guys were in the back eating catering. We've rejuvenated our careers. We've done something for this tag team division. Great work, Big E. Put the world title on the guy.
Yeah, if I had to choose out of the three guys to like main event a WrestleMania, I think out of the three I'd pick Big E just because he has the charisma. He hasn't been damaged, kind of like how Kofi has been. I think Xavier hasn't really been doing much in terms of, you know, besides the New Day, but I think Big E has the most upside out of the three. Yes,
he does. Great work from these guys. They leave because of the Lesnar brothers.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really like that just because it was a 5-on-2 mismatch and you had the baby faces cowering to the heels. But don't sleep on the Usos. The Usos had a damn good promo once again.
They always do. I enjoyed it. All right, Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Aiden English.
I don't like Shinsuke going 8 minutes back and forth with Aiden English. Nakamura is kind of on shaky ground as it is. He hasn't been built up. He had a good video package, was it last week or a couple weeks ago, which was kind of similar to the Asuka thing. I really like that. But I especially since Rusev is just so hot and they're doing everything to kind of bury him and not do anything. Except because like Rusev was beating up on Nakamura and the crowd was cheering him because they love Rusev so much. I don't think that's a good position to put both Nakamura and Rusev in. But shout out to Lana. Lana tweeted about how, you know, if a TV show is so predictable that you should just change the channel. And I tweeted something at her, and she liked my tweet. So, you know, me and Lana, we're like best friends. Shout out Lana.
I saw that. You know, when a wrestler likes your tweet, you guys are like best friends.
I know. I mean, I got to slide into the DMs later, but I don't want Rusev to hurt me. Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day, ladies and gentlemen. All right. The end of the night, John Cena beats AJ Styles. Great match. Great storytelling. Tell us about the storytelling in this match, Brandon.
I really liked the match, but the match was fun. My favorite spot would probably be the attitude adjustment through the table, teasing the count out. I thought it was like, oh, this is the perfect way to have AJ lose. You can have him have Cena in the match. AJ Styles grabbing some dude on the front row's hand. The guy pulls him up, and AJ barely beats the 10 count. It was very similar to a New Japan 20 count, just because it's such a long count. It's very dramatic. You know, they're not. I mean, the difference was like this one. I actually thought AJ was going to get counted out. So that always works when you think something's going to happen, but then it doesn't happen. I thought that was probably my favorite spot of the whole match. John Cena going for the double AA again. I don't know, when's the last time that's even worked? Did he do that against AJ Styles at like Royal Rumble last year? That was the last time he's ever done the double AA and it actually worked.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the match was good, but I didn't like Cena pinning Styles to get into this match. I hope the only way to sort of recover AJ from this is if he pins Cena in the match, just because AJ is, I think, Teflon at this point to where he's so over that people love him. He can lose. It's not going to damage him too much, but I just think it just does. There's no real benefit to Cena for beating Styles, and I think it does more damage to Styles than it does to Cena. And I thought you can do something else with this. You can have Cena face a Kevin Owens or face a Dolph Ziggler or a Baron Corbin or something like that. You don't have to have him face AJ Styles just because as much as they faced off so many times, that's still a big match. And I think you can have him face Dolph Ziggler and it can be not as good of a match, but it can be a good match. But then I think with that, it's like very predictable that Cena would win. I think since they put him up against AJ, you had the doubt of maybe AJ is just going to beat him off. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't think AJ Styles is going to beat off John Cena right there in the middle of the ring. If he did, that would have been a ratings grab. Nikki Bella would have to have some words for him, but yeah. So there you go.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Superstar spotlight. Who do we got?
I will go with Roman Reigns just because I really like the promo. I don't know how you build off this if you just keep doing shoot promos, but I'm focused more on the intensity and the passion he showed because that's kind of what's been lacking from Roman Reigns' promos. I feel like he's kind of fake. Fake is kind of the word of the day for this podcast. And I think he was being real. As much as this probably was a work, and I don't know if Brock and Roman are buddies at all, but I thought he showed good passion and fire in this promo.
Yeah, I think he did. He was being real, damn it. All right, my superstar spotlight. I got to give it to my boy Big E. I got to give it to the man. Great promo, really just great energy during that segment. I loved it. Pushing my boy Big E to the moon. All right, Brandon, tell me. Yeah, keep going.
Oh no, I mean we've been talking about how New Day should be more angry and more intense, and we finally get it. Even though it was only like a 2-minute promo, but it's something.
Yeah. All right, tell me, what is your promo pick of the week?
My promo pick of the week. We're going to go back to 2015 WrestleMania 31 build. I feel like we're going to be going back to this year a lot just because this was also the year where Brock Lesnar was the champion going up against Roman Reigns. And they just had the build itself was okay, but there was some really good points in it, and one of them was on March 16th, 2015 on a Raw, a sit-down interview with Brock Lesnar, very similar to what they do in the UFC, just a sit-down interview with an off-camera interviewer, Brock Lesnar talking, they have highlights in the background. Honestly, if it wasn't for Brock Lesnar holding a different championship, this could basically be the same promo. You could run the same promo, and I don't think people would notice. He basically talks about how he's like the 1 in 21 and 1. He's the best. Roman Reigns can't beat him. His contract's running out. And even if he does sign, he's going to be WWE champion. And if he doesn't sign, he's still going to be WWE champion. Nobody can take it from him. I thought it's a great promo. Brock Lesnar, I think, is a really underrated promo. I think it helps that Brock has Paul Heyman, who's probably one of the greatest talkers ever. So he doesn't have to talk, and Brock probably doesn't want to talk because that's asking too much for him.
You're right. All right, Mitchell was going to have a match pick of the week, but he's not here. So I will step in. Match pick of the week, Bound for Glory 2013, the phenomenal AJ Styles defeats Aces and Eights leader Bully Ray for the TNA World Title. This was great. A heel Dixie Carter was making her rounds. AJ Styles left TNA for a little bit, came back with a darker character, won the Bound for Glory series, and he goes on, defeats Bully Ray, and he hijacks the TNA heavyweight title. He takes it around the world. He took it to Mexico. I believe he took it to Japan to defend it. Really trying to make it a world championship. So great stuff there. I highly recommend you guys go back and watch it. I guess that's it for the pod. Follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram The BulletCast, YouTube channel The BulletCast. If you want to email us, please do. BulletCast2 is in the number 2, sweet at WEET@gmail.com. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play. We're all over the damn place. Any final closing remarks or words, Brandon?
No, we've basically done the same podcast. We've done 2 of the same podcasts in the span of like 3 hours. But I do feel, even though this audio quality might not be as good, I feel like the content and the discussions we had were better than the first one that will never be aired and never be heard from.
Never be heard from, ladies and gentlemen.
And AJ Styles is not going to beat off John Cena. Let that be known.
He will not beat off John. Oh, wait, remember when the club used to be like, beat up John Cena? So was it like, beat off John Cena? Is that what you were going for?
No. I talk. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just put two words together, and it just didn't come out the way I wanted to come out.
Beat off John Cena! Is that what is that what was happening there?
Sure, we make a T-shirt. Make another T-shirt if my original T-shirt ever comes out. But that's another discussion for another day.
Yes, it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Bullet Cast. There's only one way to end this podcast. Brandon, hit us with it.
Goodbye, everybody, and good night. Thanks.